Hey everybody, this is me talking with former Oakland Councilmember Wilson Riles Jr. after he was arrested by Oakland police for what I call zoning while black. This was October 21st, 2019.
That we had a right to do what we were doing, and we had met all of the legal and other kinds of requirements. So I thought it was all over. And then a couple of weeks ago, someone from zoning came by indicating that there was a complaint about the ceremonies we were having in our backyard. I don't know why he didn't have the knowledge about the decision that the planning commission and the council had made, but apparently he didn't. I asked him to go and check that out. Later on, I talked to him on the telephone. He said he had found out that we had a right to do that, but that he was going to require me to get some permits for the temporary structures that we have in our backyard as part of what we are doing. All of that was also included in the agreement that we had with the Planning Commission and the City Council. All those structures were put into the design review that we had to submit. But we also agreed that if there were anything that we were doing or that we needed to do that required a permit, that we would take out a permit before doing that. But the law was very clear, and I had looked at it early in this process, that temporary structures do not require permits. So I was a little upset that at the end of this process, after going all through this, the zoning department was still trying to shut us down for something that we had a legal right to do. And I asked them to look at the code because a permit was not required. They refused to do that. I went down to the zoning department to meet with this inspector on Thursday morning, again asking him to look at the code about that requirement. He refused to look at the code. I was frustrated. I was arguing with him that wasn't right. And he was supposed to be following the law. He wasn't supposed to be doing something because somebody told him to do it or some other complaint. He was supposed to be looking at the law that he's supposed to be implementing. He got up, went back to talk to his supervisor. He said, waited for 15 minutes. He came back, sat down and said he still hadn't looked at the codes and he wasn't going to look at the codes. So I, again, being very frustrated, told him how ridiculous and astounding this was that he didn't bother to actually follow the law he was supposed to be implementing. He stopped talking to me, turned his head away, got up and walked back to the area where the staff has their desk. I got up, followed him. The door was open. I didn't push the door. I didn't push him. I didn't touch anybody. I didn't threaten anybody. I walked through the door and told the folks there I wanted to talk to the supervisor. And I stayed there until the supervisor came. We walked back through the door, sat back down at the desk. I talked to the supervisor about the issues that I had and my concerns that the law wasn't being followed. And he said, I'll get back to you. So I stood up and started leaving the office and down this narrow hall, and 4 police officers came up. They were looking around trying to find somebody who was to tell them why they were there and what they were supposed to do. Apparently nobody did. And so I continued walking, and one of the officers blocked me from leaving. They didn't say, we're going to arrest you. They didn't say what the charge would be or anything. They just blocked me, physically blocked me. I tried to move around the person who was blocking me, and he grabbed me, and other officers grabbed me, started pushing my arms behind my back, trying to put cuffs on me, tried to trip me, and did trip me, and we all fell down on the floor. And they were eventually able to get cuffs on me, and they took me out and hustled me down to a cruiser in front of the building. So, that's the incident that took place that Thursday morning.
somewhere on with a former councilman, Wilson Riles. Wilson, you mean to tell me at no point they didn't A, tell you why they were there, B, tell you what you were going to be arrested for, or C, read you your Miranda rights?
No, none of that.
Oh. And then on top of that,
I'm going to stop it right there, folks. The Oakland City Council is at 1:30 Pacific taking up the matter of a settlement to be paid to Wilson Riles for the horror he experienced what I call zoning while black. Wilson Riles was District 7 council member for years, predecessor to Oakland Councilmember Larry Reed and Traver Reed, and has done a lot for Oakland. His father, Wilson Riles Sr., was the first black elected official in California. But at 1:30, the Oakland City Council will take this up in closed session. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com.